How much money do you really need to live in Ghana? How about Jamaica? What of the USA? This question is particularly difficult because of differences in people's tastes and preferences. Some do not mind living in remote areas, some prefer to be in suburbs, and some want to be in the city centers, while others are comfortable living in villages. This video will give you actual numbers, some background, and a framework that will be helpful to every viewer, especially those who are interested in these specific countries. You will need at least between $1,800 US dollars, the equivalent of between $1,800 to $2,000 US dollars, to be able to live a basic middle ground, middle range lifestyle in Jamaica as of now, October 2022, where the exchange rate is 152 Jamaican dollars, approximately to $1 US dollar. This is Angie Marie, and this is my YouTube channel, Simple Secrets to a Happy Life. And we all know the importance of where we live in affecting and determining our peace or wellness or joy or happiness. Whether we have enough money to take care of our needs is also very important. So I'm going to be looking at the 3 places that I've spent most of my time. That is my birthplace, Jamaica, the USA, where I relocated some years ago, and Ghana, where I've spent quite a bit of time. Looking at Jamaica. If you are a non-Jamaican, and by that I mean you do not have the support where you could stay with family or stay with someone, but you wanted to live there for a period of time, you just love the country, you want to move there, or you want to spend some time there. In this slide, we have the breakdown of the costs that we're looking at using myself. Now, for you, you may be a little different, so we could adjust and tweak the numbers based on your particular needs. For instance, it might be more than one of you, or you could be a couple, or you probably have children as well. So you could adjust the costs accordingly. But food, for example, for me, if I were to be in Jamaica, would be about $500 US dollars a month. Jamaica is really not, in my opinion, is not a cheap destination. I see Jamaica as more one of those luxury destinations. You're paying, I believe, also for the infrastructure. I think we're very developed infrastructurally. We have great internet services. We have great roads. Electricity is there all the time. We have water flowing. So infrastructural standpoint, Jamaica is doing great. It's beautiful as well. So you're probably paying somewhat for the landscape, and you're paying for the vibe of just being there. But in addition, our currency is pegged to the US dollar. So when there's depreciation of our currency, we import a lot of stuff from overseas, and so costs are also high. Next, Ghana. Ghana has great appeal. Feel safe there. Safety, security is a plus. Their president invited people of color to come home, and we do feel the warm welcome whenever we go there. Country is beautiful, the food is good, the natural organic foods is just great. So many of us would really love to live in Ghana. So what would it cost if you chose to live in Ghana? From my estimates, I would say between $800 to $1,000 US dollars a month for Ghana. And here I've shown you how I break it down. If you were to move to Ghana, you need to have at least 1 year's rent in advance, and $1,000 US dollars could take care of that. Of course, that would mean the place is unfurnished, so you will have to fully furnish that place, your fridge, stove, air conditioning unit, everything. So we're gonna add another $1,000. So if you were to move to Ghana, I would say you go there with at least $8,000 US dollars if you're gonna establish yourself properly as a single person. And from that 8,000, about 2,000 to 3,000 US dollars would be your initial cost to pay for your rent and to furnish your place. After that, you pay for your regular monthly recurrent expenses. So the reason I've put between 8 to 1,000 is because I've broken down that initial rent payment, divided it by 12, so that we have what the monthly would look like. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Electricity, in my opinion, is very affordable in Ghana. And so to me, that's a low cost. And you look at what I have there, you'll see what I'm saying. It's not very expensive. So here's the breakdown of what's included in my cost of living for a month in Ghana. And the total is between 800 to 1,000. Now, We're not looking at the luxury areas that have swimming pools and security guards like in East Legon or Cantonment or Osu or areas close to the airport. Or are we looking at Roman Ridge? None of those places. Are we thinking of going to the very remote villages? You know, Ghana has many regions. We have the Volta region, I know they changed the names of some of the regions recently. Western North, Upper East, Upper West. Areas that would take you hours to drive from Accra, which is the capital, to go there. So I'm assuming that if you're moving to Ghana or going to spend some time there by yourself, you might not want to be going all the way to some remote areas where you know no one. I wouldn't advise that. I stick with my comfort zone. So I usually stay in Accra, close to areas as Tema, Sakumano, Lashibi, close to the areas where I feel safe and secure. And I think those are very critical, very important in deciding where you're going to live, especially if you're going to a country where you were not born. All right, so let's go to the USA. That depends on the state. Again, what I've done is I've chosen more of a middle ground. If we go to the states that are considered to be the cheapest, then we would be paying less per month to live there. And based on research, current research, 2022, between August to October, the cities and states to have the lowest rent is like Springfield, Missouri, or Utah, or South Dakota. What I've observed, though, is that these places tend to have a significant percentage of the population being Caucasian. Now, I don't have a problem with Caucasian population. For example, you may be married to a Caucasian and you feel safe and secure because it's not just you. You have a spouse who is not black while you're black and you feel safe. The norm, it's just natural for people to want to move to places where they're most comfortable. So want to move to places where the jobs are plentiful and where you meet other people that look like yourself. And that is the appeal, for instance, of places such as New York, Los Angeles, which it's very diversified, has a large population of immigrants, but the cost of living is very high. So for instance, in New York, in the city of New York, for instance, in Manhattan, you could be paying as much as $8,000 every month for rent, just for one bedroom. So what I've done in terms of my analysis is not to any of the extremes. I've decided to go with more of a middle ground. So for instance, a state such as Georgia or Florida, again, prices have been on the increase. Fortunately, this is just what it is. We're going through a season where I believe we are in a recession globally. That's my personal opinion because I see the signs of that. There's stagflation where we have both rising prices and rising unemployment. So not a very easy season, but it's a season that if we could be strategic and plan ahead, we could come through okay. So by the time this season passes, we would have put ourselves in a better position. So for the USA, at our least expensive, such as Missouri, where you're looking at between $2,200 to $2,500 a month to live. But if you want to go further up, if you are concerned, for instance, about race, or you don't have family in those areas where it's cheaper, and you want to move to a state such as Florida or Georgia, then you could easily add another $2,000 or more US every month to your costs. I'm hoping that this video has been of some help with giving you the breakdown and approximation of what it costs to live in these three areas. Now, like I said, you could tweak it a bit, bearing in mind your particular circumstance, because what I did was just to focus on, we're looking at just one person who is moving there. You could adjust the numbers based on your particular situation, but I'm hoping this would be a good guideline, framework, or some guidance, so that if you wanted to move to Ghana, for instance, you'd have an idea of approximately what it would cost you to live there under certain circumstances, or if you wanted to go to Jamaica, what it would cost you under certain circumstances, or if you felt like you wanted to move somewhere else in the US or wherever you want to go. Hopefully this has been of tremendous help to you. This presentation is based on the following assumptions. 1, it's a single person household with no financial or accommodation support. 2, we're excluding living in remote or most expensive areas or areas where it's not safe. 3, middle ground living, non-exorbitant, but not living in poverty either. 4, we assume we're not buying a vehicle moving there, so we're using the available transportation. 5, we're not including U.S. bills such as loans, credit cards, storage fees, child support, or other financial obligations. And finally, we're assuming that it's a non-Ghanaian in Ghana and a non-Jamaican in Jamaica. In the US, we're making the same basic assumptions, except that we're not going to focus on the nationality of the person, whether they're visiting or a citizen or a resident of the US. Thank you so much for taking this time to share this time with me. This is Angie Marie, and I'll see you soon.